Hello and welcome. I am Natalie, you are you, and this is Natalie Travel. Leaving Dunedin today. That's the place I've been staying the last 3 days. I am at Moeraki Boulders, which is a tourist attraction which I was recommended, but I can't remember who I was recommended by. But if I have to pay to go in there, I ain't going in. I love a good tourist trap. Ever since Gravity Falls and Grunkle Stan. A whole $2?
Huh?
Look at the size of this shell. That was a big cockle. Oh, it's them boulders, isn't it? Look, them boulders. Also, I don't know if you can hear, because wind. Going to the beach in autumn and wearing a very thin coat. This is a good choice, well done. That is a nice boulder. This is a boulder family. And there are the dead ancestors over there. There you go. Just what you want to put backstories on rocks. Look at all of those cockles. What? What? That's crazy. I am king of the rock, and there's nothing you girls can do about it. So this boulder is broken. Oh, but wait, no it's not, because it's a freaking world inside with coral, well not coral, with kelp and shells and definitely life. This is beautiful. This is so goddamn beautiful. The sea is attacking me. No, I'm not about getting wet shoes today. Not today. Don't come here when the tide's coming in. Top tip. We all know I studied physical geography at university, so I did a teeny tiny amount of geology, and let's face it, I wasn't a good student regardless, but I don't understand. So there are some boulders that are completely well, fragmented, and then there are others that are perfectly smooth, and obviously you're going to say, oh, it's erosion. Yeah, but has this one not been here as long as these ones? I don't understand. I don't understand. It must be the composition of what it's made out of. But I can't tell you. That's science time with Natalie. And these boulders have completely exploded. I'm really not understanding this at all. I'm not a geologist. I'm a geographer, and I'm a pretty bad one at that. Okay, this boulder's pretty smooth, but it's in the rock face. So it doesn't even have the water hitting it to make it smooth. So what's that, just aeolian erosion? How does this work? And I really don't think they're just glacial erratics. Really, because they're not erratic. Look how many of them there are. I don't understand. This is the anus of all rocks. Super smooth. So a relatively smooth rock. There are some cracks. But then it's next to one that's literally exploded. Why? I don't understand. Look at all them shells. That's a lot of shells. This one looks like it's had tiles taken off the top of it. Someone smarter than me, please explain. So, not glacial, but they came from the rock face, I'm assuming. I hope there's an information centre to tell me why. Guys. You know, in the first Star Wars and the second Star Wars, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. There you go. That's a new generation Star Wars fan, and I know the two original best films anyway. You know, in those two films when they blow up the Death Star? Well, maybe they didn't do that good a job. Because I found it. It's smaller than I thought it was, though. It was mistaken for a small moon after all. That's no moon. Seaweed used to freak me out as a kid. I always thought it was aliens, but It seems to have ripped up some kelp along with it. You monster. I asked my family what they wanted from New Zealand. They were like, oh, Lord of the Rings things, a kiwi. My dad, he asked for a rock off a New Zealand beach, so there you go, that's yours. If this puts me over the weight limit on the plane, I'm going to be really annoyed. Okay, I read about the boulders and I got like one thing right, maybe two, but the majority of things wrong, so I'm going to explain them to you now. And you're back in the room, or back in the car, I should say. So the things I got right, they're not glacial erratics, yay. They came from the cliff, not the sea, and normal erosion like air, water and the sea did help with their erosion, but only in the last stages of their existence. So this is a very generalised and simplified version of how those are formed. I just read the wall very quickly and I will get things wrong. So don't take everything I say with a grain of salt or a grain of sand, because I've just been on the beach. Ha! So for starters, the boulders are mudstones. So they're formed in sand and it takes millions and millions of years for them to form. And they think those boulders started forming about 60 million years ago, which is insane. Back when that beach was a seabed. A couple million years pass and then the seabed gets moved by an earthquake and it gets pushed up. You now have a cliff, not a seabed. And so those rocks are still in the cliff, they're still hidden by the cliff. Through natural erosion, like the sea and air and things, the cliff gets exposed, and as it gets exposed, more of these boulders fall out. Then over time, they start to erode naturally. Like you saw, there were like cockles growing on some of them, so that'll help with the erosion. Some of them have like veins running through the rocks, which is why there was like that turtle shell one I said that looked like tiles had been taken out. Those are the veins and they're the stronger parts of the rock, I think. And some of the rocks have just been so exposed that if you get the right amount of water, so if you get a wave properly blasting into the same weak spot over and over and over again, eventually that rock will not explode like movie style, but will definitely break apart. And obviously where they finally fall depends on the sea, basically. And so that's learning with Natalie. Ding. The Maori legend is quite interesting. Basically the gods were sailing and their boat damaged, and so they were shipwrecked on the coast, and so everything that fell off their ships, all their supplies, are meant to be the boulders. So like the big boulders are crates of food, the small boulders are casks of water and wine and things like that. Again, I read it very quickly and could have misread some of those things, so don't take everything I say seriously. Okay, what the hell, New Zealand? You've got like mini post office cars. Do you know what we have in the UK? Cars! And the men just walk the post. This is really weird.